I've been into metal since I was like 7 or so. So I would say it's very important. It's sort of like the way I want to live my life.
Jesse Whitfield-Pratt is a technician and member of La Coulée, a metal workshop cooperative in Pointe St. Charles. The idea for the cooperative was forged in 2012 when co-founder Eva-Lone Ponton-Fan and her classmates in Concordia's Studio Arts program noticed the lack of metalworking spaces for artists in Montreal.
And I came back home and I was walking and like, oh my God, we have a place where we can actually set up that foundry. And I was thinking about Bâtiment 7 because for me it was just obvious, like if there's one place to set up like a foundry or a metal shop, it had to be Bâtiment 7.
La Coulée is one of the 13 cooperatives that make up a Bâtiment 7, a community center which is the result of a 15-year struggle over abandoned CN warehouses.
Because the stakes at the beginning was how to collectively reappropriate spaces in the perspective of taking back the control over the place where we live and developing a kind of collective autonomy in our neighborhoods.
Bâtiment 7 opened its doors in May this year after a long struggle that began in 2009 when Sévigny, Ferland, and other community organizers attempted to squat a building near the Lachine Canal. It's a hub of activity where people gather and access services that were lacking in this part of the neighborhood. As a city councillor, I'm always happily surprised when people from outside the Sud-Ouest talk about the Bayset as an example beyond the borders of the borough. A bike shop, grocery store, and microbrewery are among the 13 community-run projects at Bayset.
We went out and asked people, if we're going to be doing this Bâtiment 7 project, what sorts of things do you want? And one of the first needs established was accessible bike repair and sales.
Le Détour grocery store is a food service point for people from the community to find all they're looking for. It's really varied. Not an organic nor a zero-waste grocery store, but one that tries to offer a large selection.
We were a bunch of people living together. We started brewing beer at home. And after a few years, the beer was getting really good. And so the co-op project started there.
Only a few months in, sculptures and inventions are taking shape at La Coulée.
For the classes, it goes really well. Like every welding classes, they've been full since May, since we've opened, and they're full until December.
This is a makerspace. You can rent, you can have all your equipments here. So I'm working here. It's very nice to work with these people, and Jesse is there to help me. He's guiding me how to work, use these tools.
We're learning a lot from each other, so that's kind of the spirit we wanted to have in that space. Like, it's easier when we're kind of doing things collectively than rather like just working on our side project alone.
There are still a lot of building lands around here that can still be taken by us.
It's working. It wasn't just a couple of dreamers. With phase 1 of the project well underway, Bâtiment 7 organizers are preparing for phases 2 and 3, which will include a community garden and daycare center. For Concordia News in Pointe St. Charles, I'm Ariel DePoctor.